Hello and welcome to my channel today, Boo Snakes and More. Today we're going to be reading from the Mall Word Reddit, and the subject is Theory to What Mall Word Is. I've been having these dreams about Mall Word for quite some time, and I often wondered about what was this place is. After my most recent dream about it, my girlfriend noticed something about me while I napped, leading me to the following theory. During my latest dream, my girlfriend noticed I stopped breathing in my sleep for nearly a minute. She told me she was scared and almost waked me, but I soon started taking small breaths before I resumed breathing normally. What if it's connected? What if when our bodies start doing something that puts us in danger of dying, that's what triggers Mallward? For example, whether it's sleep apnea, not being able to breathe, something with our heart, or other major organs malfunctioning, that when our minds recognize we're in certain peril or close to suffering off this mortal plane, it opens the portal to Mallward, which acts as a landing zone for the dead. It's the astral plane. I don't have to stay in Mallward, but it's the arrival to it. The luggage of the astral plane, if you will. The lounge of the astral plane, if you will. I feel like it's astral as well. It has a different feeling than a typical dream. That's my best indication. I've never actually been to the mall, but definitely to this world. It's definitely on the astral plane. Well, this makes so much sense. I wasn't exactly dreaming of Mallward itself in this dream. I had to escape Earth and return to the real light of the Creator. But Earth in here has different levels. First, I was in a dark, deceptive world where murder, torture, and poverty is rampant. And it was only 1 second that the light of the sun shone. Then everything went back to utter darkness again. I had to escape. I was sad. I had to leave my siblings to do so. But I must find a way first. Then I reached a hotel lobby attached to the mall ward, where I asked the receptionist if I can incinerate to a better place where there is the real light. She said that yes, I can absolutely do that. I was transported to a higher, better realm of Earth that isn't actually better or higher. It is still under the false matrix. In this version, it was definitely lighter, but it is a false light. It was bright and full of activity. There was skincare and bunch of other luxury. But your time is always limited. You're always chasing after something and live by the clock. I realize that this is not what I am looking for. I am trapped in the false light. After I pass the darkness, my goal/mission is to find the real light. But it seems like I have to stay in that level for a much longer time. I have made it my goal to spread the real light of the Creator and make it known in this matrix through influence. At least in this world, I would be able to make a difference. Unlike the previous one, slowly but surely. Pretty symbolic, huh? As someone with minor heart problems who dreams about Mallward every night, I agree with your theory. I strongly feel that Mallward is definitely the land of the dead. And what made me realize this years ago was when my grandpa frequently seen dead people in his mall world. I definitely believe Mallward is like some sort of alternate reality. I too have seen relatives who passed away at Mallward, especially my parents. It always seemed like they were there before I got there, and they're happy to see me. I treasure those visits with my mom and I've seen a few people who have passed in Mallward. After my grandmother passed, I would see her a lot, and I got the sense she was confused as to why she was there. I got the impression that maybe she didn't know she had passed, and she would sometimes show up in a random area of my dream, sometimes at a version of her house, or in a car with me, sometimes at a restaurant. The interaction was slightly off and strange. Her speech wouldn't make sense and she would age rapidly. It always ended with me trying to gently tell her she had died and shouldn't be here. When my grandfather passed, her husband, 3 years ago, I started to see them together, and she seemed more content. These are also the most semi-lucid part of my Mallward dreams because I know they are gone in my waking life, but here they are sitting with me at a picnic or in a restaurant for dinner. In those moments, I know I'm dreaming, and the interaction usually changes to something that feels like they are checking in on me. It's always nice to see them. Lately, I've been dreaming of my childhood friend who passed away a few years ago. She's always at a house party that I seem to wander into. She tells me she didn't really die and it was all a misunderstanding. I am always left confused by this. But she is talking and interacting with so many people that I never get an explanation as to why she thinks that. I see both living and dead people. I know in Mallward, but the weirdest experience is when I sense that someone is both alive and dead at the same time. It makes sense in the dream realm in a way that isn't compatible with waking logic. It's like they're on the other side of the veil, but also completely accessible to me. As if the difference between life and death is irrelevant there. Well, I sure hope not. I go to Mallward very frequently, and I'm only 30. I wouldn't stress it. I think I've been going to parts of Mallward for much of my life, and I'm 44. I've been going since childhood. Right, but I've been going since a child, and I've definitely seen my relatives that have passed on. I don't think it's that cut or dry at all. I can have a Mallward dream during a small nap in the afternoon. I don't believe you need to be anywhere near death, or the illusion of it, to experience a dream in a liminal space that looks like a casino, mall, school hybrid. I mean, the bathroom is also often connected to bodily functions. I figure have to urinate RI when I get to the Mallward bathrooms. It's not life or death, but it is a model connected, so maybe you're onto something. Definitely when I dream of bathrooms, they're always filthy or flooded and I'm barefoot, ew. Or there are no doors on stalls because it's my body slash brain preventing me from peeing the bed in reality. Same. I'm in the Mallward bathrooms often and they're filthy, flooded, and crowded. That's what I think. They're too gross to actually relax and then end up peeing in real life. I've been having a lot more Mallward dreams the last few years after I was diagnosed with a faulty articular valve. That's exactly what I mean. The sole purpose of the brain is to keep the organism person alive. So when the brain senses physical death is imminent, it leads us into Mallward in an attempt to save us. On the other hand, I've noticed more and more dreams since I started on a CPAP machine, which is specifically used to help keep you breathing with sleep apnea, so it seems to be less related to the body getting closer. Do you think it's possible for the machine to be keeping you suspended in the stage of sleep needed to reach those planes, like they say, in the hypnotic state makes it easier to astral project? I always have slept with my TV on, but if I turn it off, I will have a lot more Marlboro dreams that are very intense. With the TV on, I have normal, less intense ones. I don't believe that's the case, but then I usually feel for the Marlboro the simplest explanation is likely the true one, since if I go to the mall world, I have recognized the landscape of the mall to be either exactly my local mall or minor changes. For example, in the most recent time I've been there, I started in a nearby medical building, a bit with a food court inside that building instead of doctor's offices, and the theater closest to the side of the mall I was at instead of at the opposite side of the parking lot, or at the very least recognize it to be a mall. I have been to it in the past. With that in place, I would assume the mall would be basically augmenting our own memories of the mall instead of the theory OP said. I think it could be tied to sleep apnea, yeah. Sleep apnea, yeah. I've also visited a place that certainly was like purgatory in my most ever vivid dream. It wasn't the actual mall, but the energy of the place was similar to what goes on in the mall. I went to a rainbow pyramid and was taken by a guide through and met many people inside who were stuck there and seemed to be processing their lives and deaths and their decisions. One guy couldn't accept he wasn't able to leave and was complaining that I got to leave and he had to stay. The guide implied to me the biggest lesson, no matter where I am, is to accept the circumstances with generosity. No way out of existence, no matter the plane. I recently saw the same guide in the mall. She was guiding me and my family through a large crowd. It could also be DMT release, and maybe some of our brains are just more sensitive to it. Like how people who take DMT recreationally often see the same deities, like lizards and snake goddesses, and many others. And for whatever reason, natural release of DMT is taking us to malls and tunnels and missions and mansions and libraries. Lower dose, maybe the astral imagery is more influenced by the world we live in, not sure. Thank you for watching this video and peace out to the next one.